Mike Lavoie. I work for the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians Fisheries and Wildlife Management Program. Well, the adult sicklefin inhabit large creeks and rivers here in western North Carolina within the Hiawassee and Little Tennessee systems. Adults are benthic macroinvertebrate eaters, so they forage primarily over cobble substrate, and the substrate needs to be very clean, silt-free. The sicklefin has a pretty interesting story. The Cherokee people have actually recognized it as a species for centuries. It had its own name. The name translated into wearing a red feather, which was pretty neat because this fish has a very bright and falcate dorsal fin. So Cherokee is a descriptive language, so that makes a lot of sense. It wasn't until the 1990s that science actually named it as a unique species. So it's a really great example of how traditional ecological knowledge and Native American perspectives can inform scientific knowledge. This fish was historically a really important food source for the Cherokee people. Particularly spawning runs of suckers would move through the rivers during late winter, early spring when times were tough for food. So fish such as the redhorse provided an important seasonal component to diets. So our goal with the restoration of this fish is to both restore a rare fish, which is important from a biodiversity perspective, but also restore a fish that was important to the Cherokee and help restore those cultural connections that fish has with the people of Cherokee.
I'm Steve Fraley. I'm with the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission. I'm the Aquatic Wildlife Diversity Coordinator in the Western region. Well, lots been learned. There's been a lot of research into the life history of the species. There's been some study into their habitat requirements for spawning and feeding and their movements, especially during the spawning period. We've continued to monitor populations, in particular the Little Tennessee population, and we've also taken eggs and milk from that population as well. It turned out we could do a pretty good job of rearing those things and have produced several tens of thousands of those annually since about 2009, and have been releasing those in a couple of places. We've been cooperating with the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians to release those in the Oconaluftee River to try to reestablish a population there that we believe was there historically, and also in the Tuckasegee River upstream from what previously was the Dillsbury Dam site.
During the springtime, when these fish are migrating to spawn, they often form larger aggregations, and sometimes you can actually get up on a bridge with some binoculars, preferably with polarized lenses, and actually view these large aggregations of fish spawning. Probably the best way to view sicklefin is to get yourself wet and put on a snorkel and mask and swim in some areas such as the Little Tennessee River and the Needmore Track, or some sections of the Tuckasegee River.